Hey guys, Funny Guy Timmy here with a shootout that I promised or talked about doing when we reviewed the iSK ICDM, which is right here. I have the three closest dynamic microphones that I own that we're going to be shooting out, kind of doing a comparison. I was just going to do a shootout between the Shure SM57 and the iSK ICDM, but I decided to go ahead and throw in my trusty, probably one of the first dynamic microphones I've ever owned for doing like stand-up. That's not true. It's probably the third microphone I ever owned. And it's just one that I travel with, and you know, it has a very similar sound to the Shure SM57. I mean, the Shure SM57 sounds way better just because it's $100. But I just decided to throw it in with this and do a 3-microphone shootout. So here we go. I reviewed the iSK ICDM, and you guys have seen multiple reviews on the Shure SM57. And this, I believe, is in the second microphone review video I've ever done. I'm not positive, but I think it's in there. I did a whole shootout of handheld dynamic microphones, and a lot of them were from RadioShac, like this one, and it was just kind of a comparison, and they're all relatively cheap. And the problem is that the RadioShac microphones, they don't have names. Like the iSK ICDM, that's easy to know and remember, and it's short. It's short. Shure SM57, also short. All the RadioShac microphones that I've ever owned or have ever seen have like these long numbers. I joked about them being like inmates, in that video. So that's this one. So I don't know the name of this one, but the link to it will be down in the description, as well as the rest of these. So the setup that I have right now, if you're listening to this with headphones and in stereo, I recommend it, because then you'll be able to tell that I have these in kind of a stereo setup. Ooh, where this microphone you'll be hearing in your right ear, through the right side, and then this one you'll be hearing on the left side. I have it swapped for me, but it'll be right for you, I hope, if I've done it right. When we go into the review, I'll be turning off each mic individually, because right now you probably can't hear anything about them. I just thought it'd be neat to do this kind of... Now, I'm not positive with the prices on all of these microphones. I know that this one is pretty much regularly found for $100. Sure, basically, they made a microphone. They sold it for $100. It is an industry standard, and they have basically not dropped the price, ever. It's very rare to ever find the Shure SM57 or the Shure SM58, which I need to buy one of these days, to ever find them below $100. Sometimes maybe Shure will have a sale, or you might find them refurbished or something like that. But for the most part, $100 across the board, regardless of the website. This one right here, I believe, is a $20 to $40 microphone. I don't know, what you'll be able to find it for now. You can probably find it really cheap. The reason that I've liked this particular microphone for the longest time, this RadioShac microphone, is just because, I've beaten it up, I've dropped it, I've traveled with it. It's solid. Its grill is really sturdy. It also has a slimmer, longer form factor for a microphone, and I kind of like that. I don't like the big bulgy... I don't like balls on my face. All right, I'm just going to say that. I don't like balls on my face. This one looks more like a cylindrical tube in my face, so it's not better. But I really just like this microphone. It sounds the best on my voice. When I did a podcast, and I used all these kinds of handheld dynamic microphones, this was my favorite one on my voice. And then I had some that were deeper, had like more of a lower tone or a deeper voice or whatever, or had a lower, more focus on the lower frequencies. It was just a duller sound. It wasn't as sharp and bright. I think this one's brighter than most of the other RadioShac mics that I've owned. And so, I just like this one's clarity. But when I would have someone on the podcast that, had like a really deep, rich voice, I would give them this microphone to kind of balance that out. And then I being the one with the higher pitched or the more sibilant sounding voice, I would use the microphone that had the lower pitch or the lower frequency, or was duller, if that makes any sense. Just so they, our voices would balance out, and it wouldn't be, you'd have this and across the board. And as far as the iSK ICDM, I don't remember its price. I should probably look it up. You know what? I'm in front of a computer. Why don't I just look it up? Be a man. All right. On the website, it is sold for $60. I do think there is a link that they gave me that I will be putting in the description if it still works. If the link is still good, go to that link. If not, the Amazon link to the microphone will also be in the description. So anyway, $60, $100, 30-ish, probably cheaper. So a nice range of prices. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to them individually. And you're going to be able to listen to them one at a time. Again, no compression, no EQing. I'm not going to be doing anything other than normalizing them in post. And in my my mixer, on my Yamaha mixer, they are all set to 50% on gain and 75%, 3/4 of a turn on levels. So they're all the same settings across the board. So now we're going to start out with this one, because I think that one's on that side. Actually, you know what? We're going to start out with this guy. We're going to start out with the RadioShac. All right, so now I have turned all the other microphones off. You can't hear them. It is just the RadioShac microphone that is on. And yes, I have the foam wind covers on all of them, because I already have a video on both of these, testing them with and without windscreens and stuff like that, and plosives and all this kind of stuff. And this isn't a test of which can handle plosives the best, because this one is technically not for voice. So I mean, it's not a fair comparison. Anyway, it's technically intended for like drums and guitar and instruments and stuff like that. Here we go. I'm actually going to turn up the volume and the gain so you can hear the noise floor on this one. Because they're dynamic mics and there's no phantom power, I don't imagine that the noise floor is going to be too high, but we're going to do it anyway, see if there's any difference within them. So here we go. All right, so that's the levels all the way up on this guy. Not that much louder. Like I said, it was already like 3/4 of the way. So now we're going to go with gain. So that is 3/4 on the gain. And that is all the way on the gain. All right, so now everything is set back. I'm going to give you some more silence of this as it is. Yeah, pretty much nothing. All right, now let's move on to the Shure SM57. All right, so now we got the Shure SM57. I've talked about this microphone a good bit. I put it up against my Sennheiser MKH416, and I put it up against my Audio-Technica 2020, as well as various other microphones. It's one of my favorite tools in my microphone toolbox. And what I mean by tools is that's how a microphone should be used, by the way. It is a tool. It is a device used to accomplish a specific purpose. And each microphone is designed for different things, just like a hammer, a drill, a screwdriver, a saw, whatever. They all have a specific purpose. And yes, they're all designed to capture a sound, but some of them are better for different situations. And this one is really, really good. Obviously, for me, it's really good for handheld. I just like the way it sounds better than the SM58. All reviews that I've heard of the SM58 are just really kind of dull and really bassy. And I like a little bit more clarity in the sound, and so I like the Shure SM57 a little bit better. Also, there are some people that use it on the voice, for the same reason. Some voices and some sound sources sound better with different microphones. Now I'm going to give you some silence, and then we're going to boost the gain and the levels. And now let's boost the gain. Or boost the levels first. That is levels all the way up. Not much of a change. And that is gain at 3/4, 75%. And that is the gain all the way up. And right back down. All right. Now we're going to switch to the iSK ICDM, and let's give that a listen. Alrighty, so now we have the iSK ICDM, and again, the levels are, the gain is 50, and the levels are 3/4. I guess for you guys it'd be that. I guess it'd be that way. This is a microphone I reviewed not too long ago, and earlier I was doing a listen with all these, as is, before I did this video, as I was setting up the system. And I'm going to be honest, I can't tell the difference between any of these microphones. I think this one's a little bit louder, a little bit brighter. This one, I think, has a little bit more clarity but needs more gain. But overall, I kind of like the iSK ICDM. It's kind of a balance between them. It has more volume. It's it's not as sibilant and it's not as bright. It handles plosives better than the Shure SM57. Mostly just because it has a larger distance between the capsule and the cage or the grill over the capsule. And it's in between these two with price. Now, obviously, this is the only one that I have of these three that actually has a on and off switch, which used to actually have a little plastic cover that made it a little bit easier, but that obviously unglued and came off, and so now I just have the switch, which is still easy to get to. It's not a hassle. To be honest, when I was doing stand-up, every now and then, having a microphone that has like a switch that's kind of like easy to flip on and off is a problem when you're doing stand-up, because a lot of the times you'll just hit that thing by accident, or, if you're handing off the mic to some other comedian or you put it back in the stand, it'll flip it off, and so they start out their bit with just this nothing, with just silence. So I do like that these microphones right here don't have that. If you ever don't need to hear anything, just point the microphone away or just turn it off on your system. There is one thing that I would have to say is I don't know if the iSK ICDM would be able to take the beatings that the Shure microphones would be able to. The Shure SM58 and the Shure SM57 are known for being rugged and for being able to hammer nails and for being run over by, touring buses and stuff like that. I don't know if the iSK ICDM would be able to do that. I would be fine testing it, but this is the only one that I have, so I'm not okay with testing it. If they sent me another one to do tests like that, I would be more than happy to compare the two. As of right now, I'm not going to gamble it. So I don't know. I would say that just from the feel and just from the texture and just from the design and just from the weight, I would say that this is a higher quality microphone than the RadioShac microphone. I mean, obviously, it's RadioShac. I mean, they went out of... Didn't they go out of business? Did they go out of... Are they still around? I have no idea. I keep thinking they're like the Toys R Us of technology. So anyway, now we're going to go into the silence and then the levels. All right, I guess we're good. All right. Levels all the way up. Barely a difference. That is all the way up. Levels all the way up. Yep, no change. All right, and now gain. That is 75%. And that is 100%. Huh. I think, and I don't know what you guys heard, but I think this one's actually more sensitive. Either that or there's more noise outside than there was when I was doing these ones. But actually, I heard a little bit more from my computer and a little bit more from outside. So this one might actually be a little bit more sensitive than these two. I'm not positive. If you guys hear any difference or you think yes or no, leave that down in the comment section below. Ha, that rhymed. I'm happy. All right, so now we got all the microphones back on. I feel like I'm doing a press conference now. Yeah, here is the iSK ICDM, the Shure SM57, and the RadioShac mic. Oh my God. Ew. That does sound. The brighter, duller, medium. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of these microphones down in the comment section below. If you'd like to see any other microphone reviews, let me know down below. Give a big thanks to iSK for actually giving me this microphone, which was a huge surprise, to do a whole bunch of tests and reviews on it. Again, all the links to these microphones will be in the description. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, subscribe if you want to see more videos. Anyway, until next time, peace.